Today could be the last day of testimony in the Lindsay Clancy trial. Yesterday's proceedings ended earlier than expected after a witness brought up Clancy's Catholic faith. That led the defense to call for a mistrial. Watch.
That was part of her expectation, that she and the children would be together in heaven with God. She was raised as a Catholic, and this, as I understand, Catholic considerations, that's not necessarily what happens, but when I asked her about that, when I said, isn't suicide a mortal sin?
Yeah, can I see counsel over here?
Now, the judge did not declare a mistrial, but he reprimanded the prosecution and told jurors the testimony was inappropriate and irrelevant and it should not be considered. For analysis on this, we're joined by Mark Eiglarsh. He's a trial lawyer and former prosecutor who's been giving us some insight recently. Mark, good morning. Explain for our viewers why that testimony was out of bounds and what the judge had to weigh in considering calling for a mistrial.
First and foremost, this guy is not an expert in religion. That comment had no place in this trial. They're supposed to determine this case based upon the evidence and the law provided, and not this guy's judgment about her religious beliefs. This, however, was the greatest thing that could have happened to the defense. Yes, the defense. Because what you have is the only one they trust, the elevated guy wearing the black polyester, essentially saying what that last guy did was wrong. He shouldn't have done it. He is being punished by me verbally, and you guys shouldn't consider what he just said. I mean, that's the best thing you can get as a trial lawyer.
Earlier during this trial, the courtroom bristled when Lindsay Clancy's former mother-in-law was asked about her faith and if she was aware that certain things would be a sin. The jury is taking all of this in and has to make a decision. How do you think they're viewing this topic of faith?
Well, first, they're probably disregarding it because there's overwhelming evidence in this case introduced by both sides that bear on the actual issue. But here's the good thing for the defense. Now that it's happened twice and he moved for a mistrial, which he did not because he wants a mistrial. He doesn't want to do this case again. He did it because us trial lawyers need to preserve the issue on appeal. The appellate court will say, well, you didn't move for a mistrial. You could have done that. So that's why he's doing it. He knows the judge is going to deny it. But ultimately, if this doesn't go the defense's way, they will have an issue on appeal.
Now, at the end of the day, Lindsay Clancy will either go to prison or she'll return to a psychiatric ward. So what messages are the two legal teams trying to close on with this week's closing arguments?
Conflicting messages. The prosecution saying, look, okay, she does suffer from some mental illness or disease, but she legally knew right from wrong. Look at all the facts in this case. 18 minutes, that's the only time she heard voices. How convenient. What, does she schedule her psychosis? The defense is saying, why else would she have done this? This wasn't planned out. She truly suffers from a mental illness or disease. She was begging for help for months. She didn't get the help she needed. And as a result of psychosis, hearing a voice commanding her persistently to kill, she honored that voice. This is one where she should be found not guilty by reason of insanity. She didn't have criminal responsibility, is what the defense will argue.
The jury has an important decision to make. Mike Eiglarsh, thanks for being with us this Tuesday. Mark.
My pleasure. Thank you. Yes.
And stay close to CBS News 24/7 for more on this case throughout the day. We'll bring you updates from the courtroom every 30 minutes and bring you live coverage of the closing arguments. Also, later this hour, we'll check with CBS News correspondent Chanel Call, who is there outside the courthouse.